Hey folks, Brian here, your friendly lawnmower reviewer, if you want to call me that. I don't know. I mean, you could say friendly or unfriendly depending on who you are, because I get a lot of people that tell me great things and thank you, and then I get a handful of other people that are like really negative and kind of hateful and spiteful. And I don't remember the term of what Echo calls this pace, the personal pace that's on my Toro. It's the drive system that you push on. And I just want to talk about, because I'm kind of more into the mechanical side of things, and you may not be, and you may not just understand, because there's a lot of discussion about the drive system, if it's versus this one here or this one here, which one I like better and why. And let's get a good proper understanding of how it functions. I think that's important. This is going to be a mower video, and it's going to be between the 2025 Eco 190cc gas mower and my Toro Recycler Max 163cc 22-inch mower. This is a 21-inch mower. They're very in the same price range. People are cross-shopping them. So hopefully this is going to be a good video. I have it all in my head, and I think it's going to come out smoothly, but you never know. I'm sure someone will be unhappy, but let's get into it. First thing is, let's just get and I wish I could remember the speed control mechanism. I don't know what it's called. I've heard it before, so don't crucify me. I'm just going to refer to them as both, kind of the personal pace, because that's what they do. Walking speed determines how fast the mower rear-wheel drive is propelling it forward to match how fast you're walking. If you're just baby steps, or you're actually walking a little bit faster, or you're galloping, they both can do that. And how that functions is, this slides down. On the Toro, it slides forward and down in an arc, and I'm going to get into more detail, and that's very important. But as you can see, let me just start out by saying, look, one rolls easier than the other. It's just flat out no way to dispute that. I mean, this is heavier feeling, and it does not roll as easy as my Toro, so that likely has some to do with it. But see, it's like it has a little bit of brakes on. I mean, it rolls. I mean, you're not going to complain. It rolls. It does roll. I mean, and it's not terrible, but look how it just rolls and then it stops. Now here we have the the Toro with obviously the better bearings and the better wheels. When I push this, it just lightly, it just rolls. It takes almost nothing to make it roll. I mean, a finger. And see, when I'm pushing on the mechanism, look, I'm not, I mean, you just barely touch it and it rolls forward. It's like you have to put no effort in to get this self-propel system going. That's a huge difference. And look how the personal pace, when I come in and I just touch this with one finger, look how the personal pace mechanism moves. It moves forward. It's basically my weight, a 200-pound man, a 95-pound, 85, 95-pound mower. It is sitting still, and I'm sitting still until I put my weight into it, so I'm not actually pushing like a gear shifter or something. I'm not actually pushing something down with my arm, pushing it. You know, and people think that you're activating in this personal pace type mechanism that I'm actually pushing down, that I'm forcefully having to make this happen. This is the difference between the Toro and the Echo, is when I come in and I'm not even really putting my weight, I'm just moving. Look at the mower, you just touch it and it starts rolling. When I push and move into it, I'm not even putting any of my weight into it. That's how this thing starts the rear wheels propelling and moving. So it's so seamlessly. Look how a finger on here, and this moving forward and down is what pulls the cable actuation, and it's going down to the little transmission under here, and it's pulling that tight, and it's tightening the belt between the shaft drive, or the drive shaft, and it's connecting that belt to the transmission and making the rear wheel spin. Obviously, the more you push down, the tighter the belt gets, and the more the speed of the crankshaft sends to the rear wheels, and it speeds it up. It's very simple. But here's the mechanism. This with the curve, it has to be that way, because when I'm pushing forward, I'm pushing directly forward. I'm not pushing down at a 45-degree angle. When I come into this, I'm not moving like this. I'm moving like this. So see how this rotates on kind of a curve? And so when I come and push on it, I'm not even really having to push the mower. There's no weight. There's really no weight that I'm having to put in to make it go. That's why this is so smooth, and why I think this works so well. Hopefully that makes sense and you got that, but I'm going to pull the other one in. Hopefully this is getting through to people. Okay, here is and I consider this a 45-degree angle down. At the Toro is what, half of 90, but it's when you push forward, see, this one goes straight down. So I consider this at a 45-degree angle, where the Toro is straight on, which initiates the roll, and then it curves down. This one is just a straight 45 angle. So when I'm pushing forward, I'm pushing directly ahead of me, not down. So you have to come in, and this has got like a stiffer spring in it, and it's really springy. And so look, when I push the mower, I'm not even activating the rear wheel drive. Of course, this is on concrete. I'm not even moving the mechanism. It's just the mower's rolling. So the rear wheel drive was not kicking in. On my Toro, just on the flat concrete, when I started to push that in, the rear wheel drive would kick in with just the barely touching of this mechanism here on the end of the bars. So when you really want to make this go, you got to forcefully push down at a 45-degree angle. And then the motor kicks in. So when you're doing your spins and you're going and you're spinning like this, you're having to really physically push in on this mechanism, and it's just not nearly as smooth and efficient as the Toro. I think that's the big difference between the personal pace systems. Obviously, they both have the blade brakes or the motor brake. When you let that go, the motor dies and the blade stops spinning. But that's a big difference. This is just a lot more springy, and to get it down to where you're, really kind of moving, maybe, 2 or 3 miles per hour, I've got to push down on it. See how that spring? My Toro is such a minimal spring that it just flows with no effort. I'm really not having to really push down on it to get it to go. And that's a main difference. Hopefully this made sense. Obviously, it's very clear to me sitting here doing it that, this just doesn't flow as smoothly, and the mower does not roll as smoothly. It just feels like it's got a sandbag on it, or the wheels are just, the wheels are on bushings. It really does. It just feels like there's not bearings. It feels like this might as well be on bushings. Bushings and bearings is a big difference between the two. Let me bring back the Toro real quick just to show you. The Toro just roll, it starts and stops very easy. See, it just doesn't take much to get it going and to make it stop. Even though it's rear wheel drive, you're still pushing and pulling and maneuvering. And I think that's one of the biggest benefits that I see between the Echo and the Toro is that this mower just floats and just maneuvers and pushes a lot easier, even though it's assisted rear wheel drive. See, look again, we're going to show you. When I push, the mechanism starts going before the mower starts moving. And there's a lighter spring in here. And look, I'm not even pushing it, and it's starting to roll away. It's just very, very smooth, and it just rolls, man. And this is level ground, maybe a 1-degree slope, so minor because it's in a garage, but it just rolls so easy. And then the mechanism with how it arcs down and curves again, just makes this where I push forward and it arcs down. It's very, very smooth. That's the big difference. And hopefully I made enough sense. Hopefully you found this helpful and informative, and maybe help you to make the best buying decision, because that's all I'm doing. I don't get emotionally involved in which mower is better. I'm not in love with the mower, and if you say something bad about it, that I get my feelings hurt. So please don't get your feelings hurt. Or you know, when I make videos, I'm not making videos necessarily about how to mow, how to properly mow, but more about emphasis on the mower itself. So if I have the rear end adjusted 1 notch higher than the front, or 1 notch lower in the back, it's not about that. It's about me working with the mower and how I like using the mower and how I operate with the mower and how easily I can mow and how less energy I can use to mow. So when I'm more refreshed after I go back into the house after mowing, and it's all about that. It's not about you know, how to properly mow. And people get very upset with me that I'm doing something that they do normally that I'm not doing, and they feel like it's a crime. So try to hold those back, hold the emotions back, and just watch my reviews for what they are and try to get something out of them. And I hope you do. And if you do, leave a like and subscribe so you can get more content. All right, bye-bye.